Bitterly disappointed. You turn up today and you walk out with Ben Stokes and you feel like anything's possible. We're bitterly disappointed to find ourselves in this position. We've not been good enough for the.
You called for a big reaction from your guys. You asked them to step up and do better than the last two games, and it hasn't come to anything. What can you do next to try and lift this team?
We have to stay very mentally resilient. We have to, more than anything, just keep working very hard at our games, keep looking at ways to get better. And we have to make sure that when we get our opportunities to get ahead of the game, we take them. And I look at that first innings. You can look at last night all you want and today. But that first innings, I thought having batted on that wicket, 250, 270 would have been a very good pass score on that surface. And when it was doing as much as it did, you'd have been very much in the game, and you're looking at a very different game again. I think last night was an outstanding spell of bowling from their attack, and you just got to find a way to get through it. Sometimes you just got an hour's hard graft, really battle hard and try and get through that period, non-one down, and you're looking at a very different game. We knew that going into today, we were more than capable of getting ourselves to a score with the players that were to come in and at the crease. And it's bitterly disappointing that we didn't manage to do that. But like I say, you've got to front up. You've got to make sure that you stay very strong. You keep looking to improve all areas of our games, individually, collectively, and you have to have a really strong inner belief to be able to come back. And we need to put some pride back into the badge. And we need to give people back home something to celebrate and look fondly back on from this tour. It's bitterly disappointing to be a 3-0 down, but 2 test matches to go. We have to try and make sure we come away from this tour with a couple of wins.
You said a couple of times in the last week that you didn't believe Australia were that much better than you, and that the margins weren't doing you a lot of favours. I mean, do you have to revise that, and do you conclude that really Australia probably are quite a bit better than this team?
I think they've definitely outplayed us in the 3 games. We've not been good enough. I think last night they showed their class, and they were excellent with ball in hand. I'd also think that the way that we bowled yesterday was excellent as well. With everything else going on around this game, to be able to put in a performance like that, I think that was our best day of the whole tour. And I'm bitterly disappointed for those bowlers, because they kept us in the game very much. With the way they went about things, and we just have to keep looking to get better.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, let's go John Etheridge and George DeBell, please.
Joe, there's always going to be questions about the captaincy after a series like this. Are you keen to carry on in the job beyond this tour?
The series isn't over yet. We've got 2 very big games, and more than anything, it's be wrong to look past that. Talk about as a player and as a team, you talk about the next hour or the next session or the very next ball, and managing that to your best abilities, and that's all we have to focus on. That applies to me as well as captain of this team. And like I say, we got to make sure we come away from this tour with some better performances and a win or 2 under our belt as well.
You've genuinely given no thought to your position long term?
No, I'm in the middle of a very important series. My energy has to be all about trying to win the next game. I can't be selfish and start thinking about myself. I think more than anything, we've got to keep looking to do everything we can to get the players in the best possible place to go and win test matches. And that's a big part of captaincy. You've got to ready the players. You've got to try and instill that belief in every single one of you, of your team and your squad. And more than ever now going into these last 2 games.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, let's go George and then Chris Stocks.
Good day, Joe. I expect that you and Chris Silver would come under quite a lot of critical pressure in the next couple of weeks. But do you think it would take in English cricket, structures of English cricket, all those sort of things, to help create a better test team, sort of narrow the gap between domestic and international?
I think that is a long conversation that should probably be had at another time. I say that I think that the best 18 players from the county game are definitely on this tour, and you know, there's some very talented players within this squad, and we have to just keep looking to find ways of upskilling ourselves and each other and managing pressure points within the game better. And I think that's a big part of this game. It's a big part that, unfortunately, sometimes, and where the game's at in our country right now, the only place you can really learn that is in the hardest environment for what is quite a young batting group. They're having to learn out here in the, like I say, the harshest environments. And maybe you look back at 2015 and the reset that happened in white ball cricket. Maybe that's something that needs to be had in our red ball game as well. But again, like I said, I think that is a long conversation that should probably have with you guys at another time. It's no for this series.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Okay, Chris, Dean Wilson, please.
Hi, Joe. Steve Harmison on BT Sport just now said that performance today was embarrassing and that careers are on the line. Is he right?
Right. I mean, every player in that dressing room is what we've shown in this tour so far. And like I said, we've got two very good games ahead of us, so we need to be better. There's no hiding. I don't think anyone will look to excuses. We all know that we've not been good enough. We're going to have to show a great strength of character and belief to bounce back from this. That's something that we'll say a lot about. We need to put some pride back in.
Sorry, Joe, I think your mic went there. Would you mind repeating that?
I said that everyone in that dressing room is gutted. You know, that's not a good enough performance. We all know that. We need to put some pride back into the badge and make sure we come away from this tour with something. You know, it's as simple as that. Can't really add any more.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to Dean Wilson, please.
There we go. Yeah, hi Joe. I just wondered, since you've come into the England team, probably only yourself and Ben have improved as batsmen in that test environment. Why is it you think that no other batsmen actually improve while they're a part of the test team?
I think that a lot of it will revolve around the environment they're coming into this team.
Sorry, we can't hear your answer, Joe.
Make sure the mics are on mute, please. That's the problem. Make sure everyone's on mute, and then we can crack on. Go ahead, Dean. Ask the question again, please.
Joe, I was saying, with the exception of yourself and Ben, no batsman that has come into the test arena has managed to improve while they've had access to the coaching, the facilities, the experience within that dressing room. Why is it that nobody seems to improve while they're in the England test team?
Sorry, someone's...
Lights have gone out now.
There we go. I think that stems to a similar conversation that I think needs to happen further down the line. I think it's for the environment that they're coming from is not readying them well enough for Test cricket, and it's a very difficult place to, with everything that surrounds Test matches and different conditions and environments. If you're not ready going into it, it makes it very difficult to improve in that environment.
I'm hoping that somebody picked that up. And the other question was, you talk about these last two matches being really important. I think what we saw there today was a team that really looks like they're on the floor. They want to try and perform, but just can't. How do you pick players up off the floor like that? You'll need some pretty special man management skills.
And as well, you need some strong inner belief from every single individual. I think sometimes it has to come from within. We'll have to do everything we can in terms of supporting and making sure that we're readying everyone as best as you can. But ultimately, it's about it's got to come from within individuals, and you know, like I say, being there for one another and making sure around the games we're upskilling as much as we can, but mentally we're very resilient and strong, and show that character that you need to survive and thrive in Test cricket.
There's clearly a problem with the technology in terms of the audio. We'll just take one more from Will Matt first, and then we're done. Go ahead, Will.
Hi, Joe. Could I just ask you to reflect on your own year? Obviously, you've had a very good year with a bat, but no one else in the team has really. And after winning the first 3 games, I think you've only won 1 of the last 12. So just could you reflect on that, please?
Yeah, I mean, obviously feel like I'm playing nicely at the minute. I'd swap it all for Test match wins. You know, any player will tell you that there's no better feeling in cricket than winning a Test match. So it's great that I feel like my game's improving, and I'm evolving still as a player, even having played quite a lot of cricket, and I'm desperate to keep doing that. But it's you know, it's been a very tough year for a number of different reasons, and there's still some big challenges ahead. So it'd be, you know, a lot of focus and drive has to be put towards that.
Okay, I think we're done. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Danny, it's